The 2 Lighter podcast.
Do we have to? Where'd the other one go? You already took it?
You got one in your hand.
Oh.
It's right there. The 2 Lighter podcast. Every podcast we just start looking for the lighters.
Did you do that on purpose?
No,
I the camera.
Well, I said the 2 Lighter podcast, but then it just turned into all that. Make sure the knees are touching. First blunt of the day. Is this your first cigarette of the day?
For this pack? If I open a new pack, maybe. Well, I know with cigarettes, if you don't smoke, like if I go the whole night without smoking, then the first one just hits different when I wake up.
Right.
So be careful with the blunt.
You mean like it makes it better?
It like hits you harder.
Oh, hits you harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. The nicotine, yeah.
Yeah, so this is the Scaling Up podcast, not the Retard podcast. So watch it. We don't want it to turn into that again, but welcome to episode 8 of the Scaling Up podcast. With that said, a little bit late this week because we were going to film Monday like we normally do, and we were actually going to start bright and early Monday before we were going to film your video. And Jesus fucking Christ. Everybody is mad at Wes Watson about going off on that leaf blower guy. He might be my fucking hero after that.
Yeah,
If you guys, okay, let's preface this by saying, if you guys knew the shit we have gone through.
I just feel like if you guys were experienced that, I think you would understand Wes Watson a little more in that moment, you know, of why he felt like he had to say something.
Because literally, these fucks were supposed to be here for 6 weeks working on the whole building. It's been like 6 months.
Yeah.
And then they bang on my window Monday morning. They're like, sir, can you move your sofa? I'm like, why do I need to move my sofa? Oh, because we're just starting over here. You're just starting? Like, I had a back and forth with them, and I had to just shut the door before I go full Wes Watson.
And, like, it'd be one thing, like, they're doing their job, whatever, but they're also disrespectful, bro. They leave food on your floor. They sit on people's furniture. They do shit that...
Just yelling.
Yeah, they yell, like, at 8 in the morning, like, no, like, right away, bro. Like, no wasting time.
Like, a leaf blower I get, but what...
Yeah.
The yelling, I don't see how that contributes to the job. So, yeah, that's been a fucking nightmare, but... We don't skip weeks. We do that instead. So a little late this week, but we'll still have the regularly scheduled one on Tuesday as always. And yeah, speaking of Wes Watson. Oh, before we get into Wes Watson, guys, subscribe to the fucking podcast. I feel like I should have said that first, but last time when I said it at the very start, people actually did for once. It's crazy how nowadays you have to be very specific when asking people for something. On my lives, you see how I do it.
Yeah.
This is our podcast. Press this button right here.
Right in the pinned comment.
You can, you can get to it by clicking on the pinned comment.
But it's only gonna direct you to the podcast. Then you still have to press subscribe.
Yeah, guys. So please press the button that says subscribe. I believe it should be red.
If you don't know what it means, just Google it.
And yeah, people actually did subscribe after the last one, so much appreciated. But speaking of Wes Watson, we started filming part 2 last week, and goddamn. I said this was going to happen. This always happens. The first part of any character is always the easiest because there's no expectation. Like, you're starting from scratch. But
also, you have your banger ideas that you already know is going to work for the most part. The more parts you do, you have to come up with new ideas.
True. I did all the obvious ones in part 1. Well, for the most part, there's one we came up with, the open house, which I don't know how we didn't think of before.
Yeah.
But... yeah, I set the bar so high for part 1 that now it's like, fuck, like decent reactions just aren't even usable. Like we gotta top part 1.
The character's a lot harder than I thought it would be to pull off, at least to get the reactions that we want.
And it's also
a whole production to set up.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, putting the tattoos on and then going to all the different locations. Yeah, last week, the reactions just were not what we were looking for. And after 2 days of kind of just... nothing. I had to like, okay, we gotta take a quick break and think of some better ideas because right now what we're doing isn't working. And now, you know, we sat and brainstormed, we thought of some better ideas, and now I'm fired up about it again. I'm actually excited about it again. You know, that's the one thing I don't like about doing prank videos, that you can't just do it like clockwork. Like, you gotta be in a certain mindset.
Yeah, there's work where you do no matter what, no matter how you're feeling, no matter how's the day going, you can still get on your computer, edit, do work, whatever. But when it comes to actually doing pranks and performing and actually getting the right reactions that we want to get, you have to be in a certain mindset. Because if you go up to somebody, you told me this the other day, if you go up to somebody and you're not in the mindset, people can tell. People can like pick up on your energy and they just don't react the same. But if you're fully into the character, that's when you get the best reactions.
1,000,000%. And we're giving it another shot tomorrow and the next day, possibly even the next day. You know how this goes. If after 5 days we still have nothing,
We've already had like, was it 2 or 3 days?
Yeah, we had 2 days.
2 days last week.
Yeah, but like 2 full days.
Yeah.
So if after 5 days we still have nothing, I think it's time to do a Vladimir Dare video or something. Which we should be pumping out videos right now in December. Fucking ad revenue is...
Yeah, for you guys that don't know, there's probably not many YouTubers on here that get paid through YouTube, but December ad revenue is insanely high for whatever reason. I guess it's because advertisers pay more during the holiday months. And I'm monetized again, baby. Let's fucking go. After 18 months of my main channel being demonetized, I'm finally monetized again. And I'm hoping to keep it that way.
Yeah, and if you guys ever wondered why certain creators upload more in December, there used to be this thing called Vlogmas, where people would upload daily in December, but only in December. If you've ever wondered why that is, there you go. If you wonder why people post the best of videos in December, well, of course, because it's the end of the year, but theoretically, you can post them in January. I fucked up a couple times by posting them like January 1st, January 2nd, and then when you see that January ad revenue after December, it's like, what the fuck?
It's like crypto. It climbs throughout the year, and then January just tanks. But it's pretty consistent with YouTube. It's always the same every year. It seems like it.
But it's still a mindfuck every year, hell, without fail. So that's the one silver lining about December, is that even if a video isn't done on time, well, you still got the best of videos in your back pocket that you could just bust out on those weeks. But that being said, I'm trying to get 2 pranks done this month because it's like double what it would be in any other month.
Yeah, plus for our viewers who watch all of our videos, they want to see a new prank every week. The best of videos is try to hit the algorithm to like new people, because it's a searchable topic, like best pranks or some public reactions or something like that. So.
But dude, you living out here, doesn't this make shit so much easier?
Oh yeah.
Because like the Wes Watson video situation last week, the part 2, it's like, okay, we take a couple days, regroup, back to filming.
Yeah.
If you had to go back to Florida and only fly back in a month.
Tanner, can you fly out here in 7 days from now? I'm like, I can, but it's definitely a pain in the ass.
Yeah, and even with your videos, like, it just goes so smoothly.
Oh yeah, man. People don't even know what we dealt with. I guess we did explain a little bit, but like what we dealt with before I lived here, how often I was coming out here.
And Tanner couldn't live here for legal reasons. It's not like he did, just refused to. So it was a pain in the ass to get you out here to begin with, but shit, glad to have you out here finally. Now, speaking of the best of videos, I uploaded the best of weighing people video, which everybody besides like 10 people did not understand. There were a couple people who were like, oh, repost, re-upload. Those comments. And those won't even show up because those are in the banned words. If you guys saw my list of banned words, I've thought about just reading my banned words, and like, bro, you would die. People listening would die, but then people would try to get around them. Yeah. But there's some words in there that I don't even remember putting. Like, it makes no sense.
Really?
Like, yeah.
Just because you were getting them at that one time and you were like...
Yeah, I could pull it up and just find like a random word.
Yeah.
That we could be like, why is it even there? Can you see? Oh, I think you need to see it on the computer. Actually, I screenshotted it and sent it to John recently.
You should probably go through that and fix that. You're probably missing out on some comments.
Oh, I read the comments that go into...
Oh, so these are all get approved or not?
Yeah, but...
So how much time do you spend approving comments? Is it like a lot?
Shit, sometimes I forget for like weeks.
Yeah.
And then I go back and just approve a whole bunch. Let's see what some of my banned words
I don't think I have any banned words, bro.
See, I told you need to put certain ones like fake.
Yeah.
Because the fake channels have it blocked.
Right.
You go on a fake channel, you won't see any
no
fake comments. But people go on your channel, they're like, fake, fake, fake.
Fucking assholes.
Better audio, better camera, better mic, boring, bot subs, bot subscribers, breathes, breathing.
People can't say breathing. People can't say breathing on your video.
Chop up, chopped up, clickbait, clout, cold.
Cold?
I remember this one.
Where'd that come from?
Because when I would go live back in Texas, I was wearing a jacket. People were like, oh, are you cold? Did you forget to pay your light bill? Or
They had a band cold.
Complaining, copies, copy, copying, cough, coughing.
Bro, are we only in C out of the whole alphabet?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I didn't even read A.
It's like reading a fucking dictionary.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Okay, that's just... I'm not going to go through all of them because then...
That's just the C words?
That's not even all of them.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, there's just a bit. I was going to read out one word, but now you have an idea of it. How did we even get to that? Oh, because people saying, oh, repost, re-upload.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, those are going to be in the banned words. But yeah, the best of weighing people, that was meant to be a compilation. That wasn't a quote-unquote re-upload.
It's like all the Karen reactions put together, right?
Yeah. Okay. A little bit off topic. You know, the real ones know this is a re-upload comment.
Yeah.
Am I the one who's autistic that I'm like? Is it meant to be like a sneak diss? Like, oh, real ones. No, it's a re-upload. Or are they? Do they actually think they're being real ones? I'm like saying a good thing by bringing that up.
I think they're not looking at it in our perspective. Like real ones, the real ones wouldn't say, "Oh, this is a repost." They would just say "banger video" or something. Or
Yeah, just leave a new comment to get it back into the algorithm.
Yeah, and to get more comments.
Because if somebody is re-uploading a video, that's already a shitty ass position to be in. First of all, it's gonna kill all the views, and whether it got demonetized, there's some reason why it's being re-uploaded. It's not a good reason. And so the person is already going through all that, knowing the views are going to be killed. And then the real ones know it's a re-upload.
And it's usually on your best video when something happens and you have to re-upload it. You know what I mean? From my experience.
Luckily, I haven't had that happen too much. But yeah, this one wasn't even a re-upload, though. It was just a compilation. But yeah, we were, as I was editing it, you were with me, we were laughing at how progressively, from part 1 to all the other parts, I just started getting more and more savage and pushing it more and more. And the reason for that really is, in part 1, that possibly might still be the best Karen reaction of all time, the OG one with Julian Smith. The reason why I wasn't really pushing it, and look genuinely like...
It's just funny too when you explain it.
I look genuinely like upset because I guess I didn't know what to expect from this video. And the whole video felt kind of like a failure because the way Rich Piana presented the idea to me, it was like you ask the bodybuilders their height and weight and you see who's lying and who's telling the truth. And nobody really lied, that's the thing. And then Julian Smith, he goes off on that whole rant about how fucked up this is. So I'm like, damn, like, I didn't prove anything. And apparently this is fucked up.
And he told the truth.
Yeah. So like, oh, that makes it...
Yeah.
He might be the only Karen who
stepped on the scale and did
Well, no, Fuad too. There were a couple.
Oh yeah, he's like, say sorry.
Say sorry for making me stand on the scale. But yeah, so I was just confused. Like, man.
You were like, damn, is this actually a fucked up thing that I'm doing?
Yeah, is this actually a bad... And this is when I was just starting to do like prank trolling videos too.
Oh really?
Yeah, so I wasn't in the same mindset of just like, fuck it, fuck everything, and go for the banger reaction. I actually got a random Jason Blaha video the day before, and I uploaded that first because I thought it was more of a banger video. Just a random Blaha video at the expo. And then, obviously, when I uploaded Weighing People Part 1, I don't think I've had a video blow up like that since. Like, it was just nuts. Like, 100K views within hours. Really? Everybody was blowing up Julian, too.
It blew up like that right away?
Yeah, looking back, of course, I feel kind of bad because we're cool now. And with the One Leg Monster, too, he called me right away and apologized. But yeah, so after that, I kind of realized, okay, what I want is the Karen reaction. It's not really about the bodybuilders' heights and weights. It's about who's a dick and who's not. It's not about who's honest and who's not honest. Because if somebody, even if somebody's off by 2 inches in their height, like, okay, that's kind of weird, but nobody really cares. Like, it's more about who's a dick and who isn't. So that's when it kind of clicked for me. And I don't know if I could even articulate that. Camera guy Mike is actually the one who coined the term Karen reaction.
Really?
Yeah, we didn't really have...
For real?
Yeah. When we were filming part 2, I just remember him saying, we got to get the Karen reaction.
Who was the Karen in part 2?
Braun Strowman was the main one.
Oh, yeah?
Of course, Ike, this Angry 6'7" guy, he was in part 2 as well.
That was part 2? Damn, that was that long ago?
But Ike didn't like fully crash out. That was like years later.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, Braun Strowman was like the main Karen in part 2, which that one I actually kind of was like, damn.
Because you actually liked him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one I was hoping for a wholesome reaction for.
I feel like most people think you do this too because you're trying to get some like justice for people lying, but like that's not why you do this, right?
Yeah, people assume it's like the natty or not thing.
Yeah. And even that, I don't think Kenny Keogh really gives a fuck. It's just what blows up for him. You know, like I don't think he really cares.
Well, obviously not. Kenny of all people, like knowing Kenny, he's not one of those like virtue signaling.
I'm sure he lose sleep at night because he has to bust this guy for lying. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then part 3 kind of turned into a shit show because Julian's partner was just going off about Julian. We didn't even go up to Julian again. Part 4 is when it got really, really good again. That was the big boy one. That was probably the Karen reaction that I was happiest about in my life. Let me explain why. Because...
honestly, one of my favorite reactions, dog.
Yeah, keep in mind, at that point, since Julian Smith we hadn't had like a crazy one like that. And on this day, I was getting all positive reactions, and I had gone up to Joey Stacks right beforehand. And this was the peak of their beef. And what's funny is later on, I realized, I think Joey's the one who told me. Joey thought like Big Boy, somebody from Big Boy's crew sent me at first. And Big Boy apparently thought the same thing, that like,
Really?
that like Joey Stacks sent me or something. Because he probably saw us like talking and shit.
That was like peak beef with him and Joey?
Yeah, that's like the week Joey dropped the video. That was the day after Joey pulled the knife and that whole thing. So yeah, Joey was standing outside the expo. He wasn't even allowed in because he pulled the knife. And yeah, so I went up to Joey Stacks, and we like legit became friends in that moment. Like usually it's just like some small talk. Like I legit felt like we're homies now, you know? So I'm like, damn. He asked me if I'm gonna go up to Big Boy too. I'm like, yeah, I'm going up to him next. And I'm like, fuck. Like now I feel kind of two-faced. Like I gotta go be cool with Big Boy, and damn, I feel kind of bad. And you know, I was actually expecting Big Boy to be cool because I'd met him a couple years prior, and
he seems like somebody who would lie about his weight, though.
not his weight, maybe his height.
That too. But
I don't think he's 6 foot.
I don't know, because he's known for like being such this big guy. So I feel like if he did a cut or something, he would still want to say like he weighs a certain.
He did do a cut though. He was 270, 275 apparently.
Yeah, in a cut.
I can see
Crazy.
that. Yeah, he was like 350 at 360. I think.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah, so I went up to Big Boy. I was actually gonna get his height and weight, then ask for his advice on Facebook because his Facebook was popping at the time. I was just getting mine started. Ironically, my Facebook ended up blowing up because of the Big Boy video.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was your advice? Like, he gave you advice without even...
Well, indirectly, yeah.
That's hilarious.
His catchphrase is "Get that money, dog." Like literally, that video got me back on my feet.
Yeah.
That video alone. So, shit.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, I was so happy during that Karen reaction because I had not gotten a real one since Julian, really, and that was just exactly what I needed. Then I went right back to Joey, so happy to tell him about what happened. That's when, like, everything just kind of aligned with that one. Shit, that expo, I wasn't even supposed to go to that expo. That's like some bullshit Texas expo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wasn't the Olympia?
No, it wasn't the Olympia, it wasn't the Arnold, it wasn't the LA Expo. It was some little small expo in Houston, And I was already gonna go, but then the Joey Stacks Big Boy beef was like peaking, and so it made sense to go. But initially I didn't even want to go because it seemed kind of pointless. Obviously I'm glad I went now. And then part 5, this is an interesting one because this comment I get so much, and it's fucking weird. People are like, why didn't you press Brian Shaw more? They're like, oh, Brian Shaw is the one person he didn't press. First of all, the word press, like, what is this talk?
Yeah.
I feel like pressing somebody would be like, yo, give me your fucking weight or I'm gonna smash this fucking scale over your head, bitch. Like, that's pressing somebody. Being like, so why don't you want to step on the scale? I don't think
Basically sticking around. Like, instead of just being like, okay, and leaving, you know. But that's not really pressing. Like, pressing is like trying to fight someone almost.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. Asking, so what's your reason for not wanting to step on the scale? I don't think that's pushing it, like we said, but...
There is times where we push it, but these these
Yeah.
weighing videos, you literally are just asking them, like, why not? Like, why can't you step on the scale? And some people just freak out.
So the reason I didn't press Brian Shaw is not because I'm like terrified of him. Now, compared to like Big Boy, Braun Strowman, Michael Hearn, obviously Julian Smith, all the other Karens, yeah, he could probably beat all of them in a fight. Besides like Braun Strowman.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, besides Braun Strowman. I think Braun could beat Brian Shaw in a fight.
Yeah.
But that's so off topic.
I would love to see that, actually. It's a good fight.
Yeah, so I feel like Brian is way less likely to crash out, though, than somebody like Big Boy, somebody like Ike. So I'm not necessarily scared of him. It's just the way that video was going, I was getting nonstop Karen reactions. That was the first time where every reaction I was getting was a Karen reaction. And I was thinking to myself at that point, like, okay, so far the formula has been everybody's cool up until that one Karen. And that's why that one Karen is effective, because he looks crazy in that video compared to everybody else. But if everybody's a Karen, now I seem like a dick. So this was the first time where I was actually trying to get a positive reaction. So keep in mind, at that point, we got Fuad. We got Michael Hearn for the first time. I was surprised by Michael Hearn too, because we were like being cool at first until I brought up the height and weight, and his facial expression, he just like got possessed or some shit. I'm a troll. And then who else? Big Rami. Big Rami didn't want to do it. He said, I'm disrespecting him, dog, like Big Boy did.
He said dog?
Nah, but he said it's disrespect. So then Brian Shaw was just like the 4th Karen in a row. And at that point, I'm like, you don't want to do it? Okay, bro, like whatever. Like if he was the first one, If everybody else had been cool, like all the other times, and he was the first one, I would have definitely pushed it. But
I'm kind of surprised you even used that. I guess just because it was Brian Shaw.
yeah, of course, because it's Brian Shaw I have to use.
Yeah.
If it was some like Joe Schmo, then I probably would not have even included that one. But yeah, for a lot of these, there's some certain big names that like I just have to get.
That's kind of like what makes the video. That's like 50% of it. Like a big name and then the one Karen reaction.
Yeah.
That's what makes a video.
So like Brian Shaw, there's no redoing that. So
Yeah, exactly.
I got what I got.
That's the thing about these. Like, you really can't. You can't just be like, all right, I'll do it next year or whatever. You can't do it again.
And then part 6, that's one where every reaction was actually positive. That was the opposite. Well, by the way, I remember part 5. Alex Eubank was the next person we were going up to after all the Karens. And I remember telling Mike, like, yo, if this guy... And he was like... Because, like, Mike obviously doesn't know who he is. But he's like, he sees that it's the skinny kid. He had no line, just standing by himself, like on stage.
Was that when he first started to kind of pop off?
He was already pretty popping, but there was nobody in line. It was weird. I just remember telling Mike, like, yo, if he is a dick too, like, I don't even know what I'm going to do at this point. Like, yo. But no, Alex ended up being cool. But part 6, no Karen reactions. It's not even in the compilation. That's when everybody kind of started to recognize me already.
How did that video perform?
Bro, it's about to be the most viewed one.
The fuck? Really?
Yeah, it's about to surpass the Big Boy one as the
Holy
most
shit.
viewed one. Because Eddie Hall is in the thumbnail, and it's a pretty good thumbnail.
Oh, I remember Eddie Hall, yeah.
But, again, that's like a one-time thing. Don't Karen reaction. That works. It's like, okay, this time, it's a wholesome
Yeah.
thing. I get one pass with that. And then you remember part 7, because you were there for it. You were the decoy.
That was when you decided to go undercover? Well, send me.
Yeah. And we were already running late that day, and then we show up, and it's good reaction after good reaction after good reaction. And it's very strange, like, explaining this. But I was just like, fuck, why is everybody so nice to me? Like, God damn it. We need that fucking Karen. And, yeah, that's when you went up to Mike Van Wyck.
Yeah.
I remember seeing you talking to him. I'm like, Jesus, fuck. Like, he's just going to be cool, and he's not even anybody.
Yeah.
Probably not even going to put it in the video.
Yeah, I didn't know who he was, but I just looked at him, and I knew you were looking for a Karen reaction, and for something just told me to go up to this guy, bro.
I remember you asked me if you should, and I said no.
Yeah.
Because, like, he's not a big enough name.
Yeah. But I just, something knew he was going to be a Karen reaction. I'm telling you, like, I don't know what it was.
I remember turning around, seeing you talking to him. I'm like, God fucking damn it. Then I turn on the smile real quick as I'm walking up to him, because I thought he would be cool.
And he's already threatening our lives.
Yeah. I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm so confused. But yeah, I was super happy that day. After that, my mood completely changed. I'm like, yes, we got that Karen reaction.
Threatened our lives, yes.
Yes. Remember I asked you though, like, how do we top this?
Yeah.
Like,
That was one of the craziest Karen reactions ever. Not even just like the weighing people videos, just ever.
that's what makes it crazy too, the fact that it is for a weighing people video.
That's like beyond a Karen reaction, bro. That's like called a Mike Van Wyck reaction from now on, like something like that.
But yeah, I was wondering how we're ever going to top that. I think the thing with O'Hearn this year, just because of the whole build-up and the actual smashing the scale,
Oh, that was a great reaction, yeah.
that might have topped it.
I think it's because it's a whole series and a reoccurring character too. People love reoccurring characters, especially when it's somebody like Mike O'Hearn that a lot of people know.
But also the fact that he told me to get in shape, and I literally spent 90
Yeah.
days like documenting it.
Yeah, that was fire. Yeah.
I did what I said I was going to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but now, serious question. How do we top that? We can't just... Okay, we can keep going up to Mike O'Hearn forever, but that's going to...
That's what I'm saying.
That
like,
works as like a side character now. We need that final boss Karen now, still. So how do we top it for part 10?
I feel like, bro, like, not to sound negative or whatever, but with these type of series, like, if you have like a legendary series, it has to come to an end at some point. You can't just like, imagine like a legendary show or whatever, and it just keeps dragging out, and then less and less people watch it. Or do you want to end it where it's like, damn, that was like legendary?
But
you know what I'm saying? Oh,
less
true.
and less people are
Yeah.
watching it. This last one did really, really good.
Yeah, but just what you were about to say, like we talked about the other day, there's more and more influencers coming up.
Yeah, so
that's why it
that
keeps
too.
going.
There is more and more influencers coming up. They just spawn out of nowhere these days. Like fucking Sam Sulik, Trent Twins, Mike Israetel. 2 years ago,
Still haven't even got Sam Solik.
Yeah.
He'd still be a good
still haven't
person to
gotten
get.
Trent Twins.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are new influencers coming up. But my question is, how do we top our families getting threatened, the scale being smashed, catch me outside?
Somebody has to actually punch us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
It's
saying.
really the only way. But then what after that? It keeps going. Yeah.
I don't want it to get any further than
for
punching.
real.
I'm fine with a punch, but as long as that's where the line is drawn. But then we have to get a punch every episode.
And then
from
it could be
on.
like And then it could be like a group fight, like group breaks out fighting. But see, that's when it gets dangerous.
That almost was about to happen in part 7.
Oh, yeah.
On the next day. Well,
Which one?
Stacks, you, me, and then the killer, Mike Van Wyck.
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant like during the reaction. Yeah, I'm surprised. Nothing happened that day, to be honest. That shit was fucking crazy. I remember you were even asking, like, what would you have done if he actually walked outside? I was like, I actually would have went. I would have just followed him out and just see what happened.
So would I, unfortunately.
I'm not going to be the first.
At that
I'm
point.
not going to be the first person to swing. I'm just going to go out there, see what happens. Was that in Florida or was that Las Vegas?
That was in Florida. Was that your first video off house arrest?
First video. What month was it?
That was in November.
No, I went to Miami right after I got off house arrest and I filmed a little bit.
All right. Well, that pretty much covers what I wanted to cover about the Weighing People compilation. Mainly, I wanted to explain the Brian Shaw thing because that's like an ongoing mystery. Why didn't I press Brian Shaw? Why am I just so terrified of Brian Shaw? Like, okay, it's not like I'm trying to press anybody. I'm not trying to have a fight actually happen with anybody. But if I pressed Big Boy and Braun Strowman and the Angry 6'7" man and people like that, Brian Shaw seems a lot more mentally stable. There would be no logical reason for me to be afraid of him. I was just over it that day.
Yeah, I feel like you're more quote unquote afraid of unstable people rather than like big people.
Well, that's just logical, is it not?
Yeah, does make sense. I mean, yeah, it should be. See you later.
Oh shit. Checkmate
Got both
today.
of them, bro.
I do want to say RIP to all the ones in my car. You know, Tanner borrowed my truck earlier today, and I've been storing my lighters in the truck.
I didn't smoke today though, so you're good.
Oh, you didn't just pocket like a handful of lighters?
I don't know. I gotta check my backpack.
All right, now an interesting topic to bring up that I wanted to talk about. We always talk about like what's our best video of all time or whatnot. Of the year would make sense, but let's talk about our biggest flop video of this year. I thought that would be interesting.
Now, a flop is a video that you think is going to do amazing. You're like, this is going to be a fucking banger, and it does not do good at all. Just in case you're wondering, that's what a flop is.
So, theoretically, I feel like all of my videos are flops. Besides, like, the Weighing People Part 9 with Michael Hearn this year. Like, that video getting 500K views and going, I should be looking at that and being like, fuck! Yeah. Like, that's it? Like, this is 10 out of 10. This is my lowest performing video of the year. But instead, that's, like, amazing. Like, when you look at how other top pranksters are performing and the quality of content they're doing compared to mine, it just makes absolutely no sense. But as far as flops go, again, it's like Tanner said, a video that we thought would do really good and then just didn't meet those expectations. So like with me, when I upload like a creep video, anything that isn't like Vladimir usually, like I know that's not gonna do well, so that doesn't count.
Yeah.
For me, it's like a video that I actually expected to blow up and then was like genuinely just confused why. Yeah. What is yours? You want to start?
I would say my biggest flop of the year is the video where I hired, well, I guess I did a fake audition. So like fake movie auditions I set up. So to go over the whole production of why I think it was a flop is I spent...
Well, just kind of explain what the video was.
What the video was? Okay, so I posted an ad on Craigslist saying I was getting people for movie auditions, and then I invited them over and I had them read a script for a movie audition, and it was obviously like a funny script to try to troll them. So it was like a fake movie audition prank. Not an original idea, but it was something funny. But the reason I thought it was gonna be so good is because we spent, I'm not even over exaggerating, I would say about 15 hours alone brainstorming just for the script. So we were sitting, and Ross let me use his entire house. He let me use his warehouse and all of his literally conference table and a big ass whiteboard. I felt like a fucking professional in here. Brainstorming the fuck out of this idea. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. It kept just getting better and better. We came up with the perfect script, and then we had, honestly, pretty ideal characters show up. I wouldn't say perfect, but pretty much everybody who I wanted to show up. Like we had black people, white people, like pretty much all the people I wanted. And yeah, the video went well. Every single reaction was fucking amazing. Like it was hilarious. We got exactly what we wanted to. And like I said, this was done in like a high level production, like in a nice looking house, nice looking conference table, like it looked very professional. And then posted the video, and it was just by far the most flop ever, bro. It fucking just
I looked at the views the other day. And
still
I'm like,
still
how?
To this day, bro. Yeah. So bad. And my theory of why it flopped, just from thinking about it, I think it's partially because the way I edited it. Because I put the banger reaction last, and the way I edited it, it was too long, and it was like one scene, second scene, third scene. I think if I would have combined them, going back and forth, keeping people's attention, it would have made the video have a higher retention rate and like perform better.
I think it flopped because of the people you did it with. If you had done it in LA with our people,
Should we try it again? You know what's crazy though? The reason I brought up it was in such a high level production house is because I've done videos in the corner of your apartment complex on a black table with a gray wall in the background. Nothing fancy whatsoever, regular looking LA apartment. They're, you know, and those are my most viewed videos. Like it just doesn't make any sense. That just goes to show I feel like YouTube doesn't really care too much about like high level production. It's just content is what matters and the people in it.
But it's also the ideas in those videos. Having me in some of those videos. Again, it comes back to like, if it was like me as one of the judges and then any of our other people, Hugo. Okay, me, you, and Hugo, bro.
Yeah.
Banger.
Yeah.
It would not get 14K views only.
Yeah.
And like any of our people, then.
Very good.
Even Bask. Andy with his facial expressions. Like any of our people would have been better than who you had.
We should do it again right in here.
In here?
Deadass.
Fuck
yeah.
it.
Just as a test run, bro.
Fuck it.
I guarantee it's gonna fucking blow up.
Okay, I was thinking you want to like rent the studio and shit, but
that's what I'm saying.
Like, doing it here is
it
funnier.
doesn't matter. Exactly.
We're sitting on the couch.
Yeah,
that makes it even funnier.
That's
honestly.
what makes it funnier. Yeah, with this shit in the background.
Yeah. And I just thought of this. I forgot about this video you did. Your real biggest flop might have been the bodyguard versus bodyguard.
Oh, okay. Bodyguard versus bodyguard.
Because you were gonna do that with me.
Yeah. Which we still can.
But that was at the peak of your bodyguard videos.
Yeah.
When they were all blowing up because of me in them.
But it's not my biggest bodyguard flop.
It's not your biggest bodyguard flop. But at this point, again, you've already kind of done it to death.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Wake People series.
Yeah.
And also Hugo filmed the last one. Like, it wasn't because of what we did. You just can't have Hugo film. Yeah, but I remember you were going to do it with me. Then you're like, don't get mad at me, but I'm doing it with Yusuf. And I'm not mad. You're going to be mad when you see the video.
That's pretty much what you told me. You're like, why should I be mad?
Like, bro, doing it during the peak, Vladimir versus Big Red, bodyguard versus bodyguard,
Yeah.
with the LA bodyguards.
To be fair, the only reason, it was literally my only option, bro. I lived in Florida, and I had really no ideas
But
at the
we
time.
did my bodyguard video while you lived in Florida with that one crazy crackhead and the one where the guy punched me. Imagine we had the guy who punched me versus the crazy crackhead.
Oh my God.
Bro!
I don't even know if that would be good.
Vladimir and Big Red.
Someone might get murdered that day. Like, fuck, bro.
Bro, that's just like...
Should we do it again? Should we do bodyguard versus bodyguard part 2? I think we should.
We should, but the problem is we can't have Hugo and somebody else with hands like Hugo's
Yeah, we
film
need
that.
D-Bob for at least one of the camera guys. The thing is, we need 2 camera guys. You need a camera guy, I need a camera guy.
If Bask wasn't being gay, that would work.
Bro, Bask, quit being gay, bro. If you're watching this, like, just quit being gay, bro. Start filming pranks again, man. Hey, everybody go spam comment on Bask's latest video. He just posted a video 2 days ago. Go spam on Alex Bask, not his main channel. His channel is Alex Bask. Go to it and comment, please start doing pranks with Eric and Tanner again.
Stop being gay.
Stop being gay.
So, yeah, those are your 2 biggest flops. But my biggest flop is, like, without a doubt, the real gold digger prank. The first real gold digger prank. And we already kind of touched on this in another episode. But basically, the premise was that for years, there have been these fake gold digger pranks. And everybody, theoretically, should have known they're fake by now. And I was going to show what would actually happen if you do it for real, which nobody has ever done. And I do it, and all the comments are just, oh, you should have had a nicer car. You should have looked better. You should have done this. You should have went to a nightclub. You should have done it in Miami. So
Those are all the people who watch people like Anatoly and all of these gold digger videos and think they're real. It just doesn't make sense.
And you know what? I literally could have just called up a hot girl, asked her to show up and do a fake one, just like it's been done a million times. Film it in an hour and gotten the same views that all of them get. And yeah, the video just went completely over everybody's head. But what did I do wrong that I could have done better? First of all, I wish you were there for this video. Just the energy was off.
Who was there for all that for the video? Bask?
Bask, Den, Andy.
And that was like when Bask was like just mentally out of it already.
Yeah. And Andy did a pretty damn good job playing his role like he always does. But I feel like Igor needed his car jumped. So I feel like you being in it could have made it better and just improving the morale. Plus the whole mafia thing with Den coming to pick up the car as the boss.
Yeah.
If you were there with Den,
Right.
and if Andy was still there, but the 3 of you, I don't know, that's more of a mafia vibe.
Yeah.
But also the fact that it was in the winter, on like a super cold day, on like one of the darkest days when it's getting dark at 4:30.
No bitch is gonna be walking out around cold and when it's cold.
Yeah, dude, the cold just, it fucks the energy up too.
It's not the California vibe that people want. It's like when it's raining in Florida.
When it's raining, it's like you can't film at all.
Yeah, but I'm saying like when it's raining in Florida and it's like weird vibes, like you get weird reactions. It's like when it's cold here, it's like compared to it.
Yeah, and women being dressed too conservatively.
Yeah, true.
See, that's the thing too. Like, obviously, models 10 out of 10s aren't just gonna spawn la 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 in the middle of a street and just stand there long enough where you can park 2 cars.
You know where I think we should do this video?
What?
Miami. If you're ever gonna do a part 2, I think that's where we should do it.
That's what a lot of the comments said.
Yeah, because it's always warm there. And girls always dress naked there. And they actually do walk around like that everywhere.
Yeah, but the point I was going to make is on a hot summer day, it would have at least kind of replicated, even at a gas station, it would have at least kind of replicated the image of those fake videos if there were the girls dressed like they are in those videos. Mm-hmm. But when they're like all shivering and cold clothes, like, you know what I mean? It's just not the same vibe. And again, everybody just acts weird when it's cold. Mm-hmm. Just the energy's off. But I am super glad that I did that video.
Well, you can't say cold. You just said cold. It's gonna get banned.
No, that's in the comments.
Oh, that's right. So you can still say it in the video. Imagine you said it and it gets banned.
It gets demonetized. Yeah. All that shit. I'd have to watch a lot of what I say then. There's like a whole dictionary, like you said. Yeah. But yeah, if for nothing else, I am super glad that I did that video for the Lamborghini experience. And I had watched previously somebody that I watch on YouTube say like, yo, if you've never been in a Lambo before, like you need to do it. Just do it basically. And like you'll see. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, fuck it. And beforehand, I was looking at different cars I could rent, and there were some cheaper options. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna spend a little bit more because the Urus is literally like my dream car.
How much did it cost?
I think $1,500 for the day.
For a full day?
Yeah.
Like certain hours, or did you have to just turn it in before they close?
It was on Turo, which is, Turo is so fucked. Bro, basically the price that they give you, it's kind of like Airbnb, like it ends up being double once you actually check out. Yeah.
Cleaning fees and shit?
Yeah, all that bullshit. Some bullshit fees. Probably not a cleaning fee, but something. We ended up dropping it off like an hour late, but it turns out the guy who we rented it from was actually a fan of mine. So he obviously didn't like charge us extra. Yeah. But yeah, so I'm super glad that I just got that Urus for the day because it just confirmed a lot of what I already knew, and it's just the craziest shit ever, bro. That day, like let me give you the prime example. What does security normally do when we film?
Tell us to leave.
Right. We were doing an intro in a parking lot. Security was there, and this crackhead or some hobo like walks in the shot. He's like, hey, don't you see they're filming?
The security said that? Yeah. What the fuck?
I swear to God. I have the raw footage.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, while we're doing the intro in front of the car. And that's when the owner of the smoke shop that I filmed my next video at was like watching us. He came up to us, was like, cool car. That's how the conversation started. That's how I made that connection. And I was like, fuck. When I pull up to do the video at the smoke shop and he sees me in my shit box. Yeah. Like, is he even going to let me film now?
Say it's your film car.
He never asked, but I'm sure he was thinking like, what
what the fuck? He's probably like embarrassed to ask, like, did he fall off? It's really true though. People treat you differently, just
bro, way differently.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you know how me just walking around, everybody's like, "Oh my god, your biceps is like," especially back in Texas, like where it's unusual. Like that's how it was with the car too. Everybody's like, "Damn, nice car." And when the fans would come up to me, usually it's just, "Oh, you're that guy." But now it's like, "You're really that guy." Yeah. Like, holy shit, you're that guy. And literally that guy. Like, they were just, it was just like a different vibe. Like,
yeah, people respect you more.
Like, you're just the fucking man that day. So,
you get more opportunities driving around in a nice car.
That's what I'm fucking.
You're able to be more successful just by having a nice car.
That's what I'm fucking saying. Like, I would not have gotten that opportunity to film in that smoke shop if that conversation had not started about the car. And imagine.
It's not even just the conversation, it's just the way people respect you because they think it's your car.
Absolutely, but also it's
starting conversations.
Yeah, and people drive those cars.
That's why there's people that literally make businesses these days, renting Lambos, renting houses, like nice Airbnbs, making content, and then using those B-rolls over and over on their Instagram to sell programs and sell whatever else. They just take B-rolls for the day. No, but he actually posts everything in his story, right? Yeah. There's people that just rent all this stuff for the day, take 100 B-rolls, they have a list of B-rolls, and then they make different content using the same
I've seen
videos,
some people do that.
And they like sell programs like that. It's fucking crazy, bro. And people buy into it just because you see that and it just right away makes you think they're a successful person.
Well, it just commands more respect. It's kind of like the physique again. Yeah. So, yeah, as I was saying, people drive those cars. They're driven by people. They're not just in showrooms. So there's no reason. Like, that day just motivated me to go that much harder. Yeah. Like, there's no reason why we shouldn't be pulling up. And I wish you were there that day.
Yeah, me too.
Because I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. But actually, like, experiencing it firsthand is like, goddamn, you know? There's one thing to, like, know about it, that's how it is. But it's another another thing to actually see it with your own eyes.
Yeah, I haven't driven like really many supercars at all, but even just a couple nice cars that I have driven, it shit motivates the fuck out of you. You're like, I want this shit really bad.
See, I didn't even get to enjoy driving it because every time I would drive it, I would just be terrified. Like, even if I get a tiny little scratch, like, now I got to pay for that shit. Like, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
Even though I think there was insurance with the Turo app, I think that's what a lot of the money was for.
Yeah.
But I'm like, goddamn, I don't even want to know what's going to happen.
Did you smoke in it?
No, I didn't smoke in it. I would step outside to smoke. The one time I did, ever.
Either that or in my car.
Yeah. Why are you gay? There's no smoking in your car?
No smoking cigarettes.
So only smoking shit that makes you stupid?
Yeah.
And actually stinks?
Only retard drugs.
Only
Only retard drugs allowed.
Okay. So I didn't even really get to enjoy driving the car because I was literally driving like a grandpa. Like, I probably have more fun driving my truck, like actually stepping on the gas and shit, because I don't give a fuck in my shit bucket. But in the Lambo, I was like super careful. People were probably looking like, what the fuck? Like, why is this Lambo driving like 50 miles?
I mean, they probably understood why. They're like, damn, he just bought this, and like, or it was a rental.
But my whole experience was mostly just like pulling up. Every time I would park it, it's like the man just pulled up.
Yeah.
You know?
Seriously though.
And those gas stations we filmed at, nobody told us to leave, bro.
Yeah.
We were literally there like...
They're like, damn, who's this here? I want this guy here.
Yeah, as long as we want it. That's the... Bro, just think about... You know that one mall where security always follows us out?
It makes you live life on easy mode for the most part. Like, as a man, like, women live life on easy mode, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people know that. As a man, the only way to live life on easy mode is to be super successful. And just,
but...
even then, you're still working, obviously. But once you get to a point where you're really, really successful and you can, like, outsource all the bottom work, then you are on easy mode, kind of. You just got money flowing in. But it's really hard. It's really hard
now
to get
you
to
just
that
got
point.
big boy problems, but...
Yeah, you still have bigger problems.
It's a better experience. It's the ultimate experience.
It's also
That's
really
what
hard to
you're
get
trying to say,
to that like top level, like Andrew Tate level type shit where he's buying a supercar.
Yeah, so it's not quite easy mode because it takes a certain level of grind to get there, which not a lot of people are willing to do, which is why not a lot of people are there. But once you get there, like, that's how you live the best possible experience. I definitely am on the same page about that. Yeah, so the last example I was going to make, like, you know, when those security guards follow us out of the malls to get our license plates and shit, they follow us out to the shit bucket.
Yeah.
They're probably like, these fucking losers. Doing little kid pranks.
Get a real job.
You know, it would just be a different vibe.
Yeah.
They'd probably be like, oh, I can see now why they're doing this.
I actually have a quick story about that. Is the one time I was filming with my friend, the Walmart video, who actually was sponsoring my video, this very successful guy. We pulled up in like a really fucking nice, expensive Mercedes, and security followed us out, and he was being a fucking dick. Literally, he was literally about to fight us almost. And then he got up in the car, and he was like he literally made the face, he was like, all right. And he just turned around and walked away. He's like, okay, I guess I can see why they're doing this now.
That's what I'm saying. That's literally exactly what I'm saying.
It actually happened to me.
Bro, at Opto's house, the house pranks.
Yeah.
That one day, when I told the guy, charge me what you want, that was a stupid thing to say. As long as I didn't say that, we would have been golden, because I feel like the reason nobody gets mad is because they see the Lambo parked in the driveway. They're like, okay, that's why they're doing this. You know, it makes sense.
It's crazy.
See the nice house, like, oh, okay. Like, okay, it's kind of annoying, but I can see why they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah, that just goes to show why, like, you have so many haters on the way up, and then when you get successful, people are asking how you did it, and they want to be your best friend. It really is like that.
That's why we gotta
Scale up.
so we can that.
Yeah. Should be flip it.
All right, so that's pretty much all the topics I wanted to cover today. I actually just came up with these like today. What we were gonna cover is steroids.
Steroids. You just said that funny.
Steroids?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why you sound like a Canadian or some shit.
Okay. Have you been smoking too much, bro?
No, I didn't even finish the blunt.
All right, but yeah. We were gonna do the gear talk discussion, and then I'm like, I think we can hold off being gay for another episode. So next episode, we're gonna get into it. How steroids ruined Tanner's life. That's gonna be the
You guys won't
title.
believe it. Is that actually?
Yeah, because quote unquote steroids ruined my life.
It should be how steroids ruined his life, and it's just me like this.
But
This is gotta be me.
But
Look,
initially,
this is for the thumbnail right here. All right.
Initially we were gonna have me like I'm the one in the thumbnail, but then that's
both
like,
of us. No, you're doing that, and I'm just like.
all right, well, that'll be the next video. And at the end of every video, we read the super thanks that you guys leave us. $5 and up. We will read any super thanks, whether it's hate, you guys want to talk shit, whether it's a question, you want to start a discussion. And yeah, this week we got a total of 1.
Let's go, baby. One day we'll break the PR, but one's better than none.
That's true. JB gets you wrecked. Same guy as last time.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Reoccurring, bro.
Sponsoring these
Hey, thanks
podcasts.
for the sponsor, bro.
Straight up. And it's $10 again.
Yeah.
Let's
Fuck
fucking
yeah.
go.
Hell yeah.
It's $5 each.
Well, YouTube takes like 40% of it, right?
Yeah.
Super chat. So we get like $3 each.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
You don't have to ruin the mystique of it. All right. In watching Tanner's video, how the gun guy focused on Eric while Tanner was in the shower, I was curious on the behind-the-scenes strategy to have that second person in there to film without raising suspicion, especially if total troll behavior starts, like showering during a mansion walkthrough. LOL. Also, how you find the right balance when they direct their attention your way. You faked the language barrier this time, but I'm sure there are times you have to interact in some ways to keep things moving, but also want to limit interference by the person filming. Loving the pod. It's great to have that extra insight into your world that you don't get from someone just posting the videos.
First of all, great questions as always. This guy, honestly, it's really stuff that we can talk about. We got to break this down. What was the first question?
Well, it's all pretty much just one question. There is a couple, but it's kind of the same theme. So what was the strategy behind having me with the realtors while you were in the shower?
Okay, so
without raising suspicion.
So for that scene specifically, obviously the only way to film it is to have a camera guy with us. We can't go in there and set up cameras. So the way we do that is we use a little gimbal. I don't know if you have it where we can show them. It's a DJI gimbal. It's a little camera. It doesn't really look like a camera. And the way we do it is we hold our phone. Eric literally has like a Russian article pulled up.
Yeah.
And he's holding the gimbal in this hand. It looks like he's reading the article, but he's actually looking at the gimbal screen, obviously, seeing what he's filming. So honestly, I would say 50% of the people don't realize it's a camera.
And I wear an all black shirt.
Yeah, it blends in, all black shirt. Most of the time when they look, they just see the phone, glance away. And he's just body language is everything. So he's literally just acting like he doesn't want to be a part of it.
And I make sure to wear sunglasses for that. So normally I wear sunglasses because I need glasses to see, and I look like a dork in regular glasses. So that's why I wear sunglasses when I do my characters. But for this, I wear them specifically to hide my eyes. So if I do look up, they can't really tell because they can't tell as long as my face is facing down, they can't really tell where I'm looking.
We either say, if they ask like, oh, who's your friend? We either say he's my driver or like even like bodyguard, I think we've said sometimes. And every time we film, like we just say we don't speak English. So like, oh, it's my driver, he doesn't really speak English. And we cut that part out. So like you guys don't really see a lot of the stuff we say to almost like manipulate
You didn't cut it out.
I kept it in that time.
And I was doing like a shitty Russian accent.
Oh, no, that was hilarious. That was so funny, that made me laugh. But the point is, like, there's a lot of stuff we say that almost like manipulates these people in a certain way to just go along with the prank that we don't really even use in the video.
But yeah, so I asked you beforehand, do you want me to go into the bathroom with you, or do you want me to stand out there and get the reaction? Now, obviously, standing out there, you get the reaction. But the downside is I'm just standing there not saying a word.
Yeah, it's
and so that does raise suspicion.
Yeah.
That gives them so when you're talking to them and doing whatever crazy shit you're doing, you're kind of diverting the attention away from me as the camera guy. Whereas,
well, go ahead, finish.
Whereas if you're in the bathroom for 3 minutes and I'm just standing there, there's way more of an opportunity for them to notice, especially because they start trying to make small talk with me and shit.
Yeah.
And I just stand there like not saying a word. So that makes them think more.
I think another thing that helps that you actually did really good that time is almost agreeing with them. So if they're like, yo, what's your boy doing? You're like, oh, she's crazy. Like, you're like agreeing with them. You're like, I've never seen this before. Like, and that helps a lot, I feel like.
I don't know. It's my English is not very good, but yeah.
That was your Brazilian character, it sounded like.
I was just trying to do like a basic Russian accent.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to do like the Vladimir, because then the attention's on me.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk like this.
Yeah.
Like, whoa. Who's that guy? Yeah. But yeah, the other question is, how do you find the right balance when they direct their attention your way? You faked the language barrier this time, but I'm sure there are times you have to interact in some way to keep things moving, but also want to limit interference by the person filming.
We kind of just explained that.
But dude, yeah, it's so annoying when they start talking to whoever's filming. Mm-hmm. Like when we were doing the comedy club as Wes Watson, the 2 failed comedy club scenes that we didn't include, and we had actually brought the main camera for that one. Yeah. They're like, sir? Like, there's a comedian on stage. They're like, is that a red light? And they act like you're pointing a fucking, like, AK at them. Like, so, is that a red light?
Yeah.
Everybody Can you turn that off? And then everybody stares, and you're just sitting there like a creep, not saying a word.
And there's another way to do it. It's called the invisible cameraman. And sometimes they don't even look at you. Sometimes you actually are fucking invisible. I can't explain how it happens. It's just weird, bro. But sometimes they'll talk to you like that time, and I literally did not say a word. I was actually like on Instagram, like I was scrolling and I had headphones in, and I was obviously hearing every word they said. And then somebody finally was like, oh, he has headphones in, and they stopped talking to me. Yeah. So like sometimes it just works, bro. You just completely straight up ignore them. It could ruin the prank, or it could, keep going.
At a certain point, it's like, should we talk to them?
It just depends. Depends on the situation. You got to be really good at like reading body language and reading the room and going based off of the scenario. You can't plan these things.
Yeah.
It takes skills doing pranks, bro. Not everybody can do that shit.
For the Wes Watson shit, there's one thing he says that you're selfish if you don't record yourself. You know, it's the motherfuckers who don't record themselves. The rich motherfuckers, they're the selfish ones. So I'm going to try that tomorrow. If anybody notices the camera, I'll be like, you selfish motherfucker. How do you expect me not to film myself and give this person to the world?
So that's a way we can get around it with that character.
But see, I'm going to try that. That doesn't mean it'll work. They could still be like, oh, I just don't want to be on camera, sir. Bro, that's sir.
Yeah.
Sir, there's no filming. What is up with it? There's no filming.
Oh, for real? I didn't know that.
They need to come up with like a better thing to say. And look, we actually get it. I get it from their perspective. But what do they think is gonna happen when they say there's no filming?
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
Like, just turn it off right
Yeah.
away.
My bad. I didn't know.
Yeah, it's not gonna change anything.
Like, if they're willing to tell us there's no filming, tell a guy twice their size, sometimes even try to attack them, and do all that for their target job, don't you think we're gonna be willing to save the camera? The $4,000 camera and for what we're doing? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, that is pretty much it for this podcast. And $5 and up, super thanks. We read them at the end of every one. Next video, gear talk, unless some crazy shit happens, and then we can delay being gay for another episode. Because goddamn, I really don't want to talk about it because it's just so fucking gay. But it's like, it's gonna get views, so we have to.
People want to hear about it.
People want to hear about it.
Yeah.
Because people are gay. All right, that's the end. See you guys next time.